Hey there. Today I'm going to talk about ginkgo. So ginkgo's been around a long time. I mean, as long as the earth, of course. It's been documented to have been used like back 2600 BC. Pops up in religious texts. A lot of nurses used it before we had things such as antidepressants and that sort of thing. So it's kind of known to be used for elevating your mood or increasing your energy, increasing blood circulation so that it helps with thought process and focus and clarity. So it kind of was a butt of a joke for a little while as far as like, did you take your Geritol? Did you take your ginkgo? Because people, as they age, kind of start to slip a little. And so it was one of those things where it kind of was made fun of for a while. But as a preventative, it can decrease those things that happen as we naturally age, such as losing focus, memory loss, all those kinds of things. However, it has many uses that are really good for us. I wanted to touch more on today some things that are some reasons why you shouldn't take ginkgo. If you are on any kind of antidepressant, then you should definitely talk with your physician or a nurse practitioner and make sure that you are on the right dosages, make sure that it's not going to interact. Every person is different. And so I'm really making this video because I did have someone that came into my office who was on several medications and they were feeling a certain kind of way, having increased headaches, blurred vision. Their blood pressure was a little elevated when they got to me, and they were taking very high doses of ginkgo. So I do want people to understand that if you are on other medications, certain herbs will counteract that. Because if we start with herbs, sometimes we don't really need the medication. That's interactive medicine. That's holistic medicine. And that's an individual choice. So if you are on those kinds of medications already, don't just jump out and get you some ginkgo. Talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about. The other thing, if you have any sort of blood disorder where you're clotting differently, ginkgo is known for increasing circulation. So it slows the clotting process down. So if you are already taking an anti-clotting factor or taking something like warfarin or Coumadin to thin your blood, then taking ginkgo would increase that medication. It would potentiate it. So that's another thing you have to watch out for. A little side bit of me, I have a clotting disorder where I make too many platelets. So ginkgo is not the best. Well, I could take it. It would just slow it all down to the point where my platelets would have an adverse reaction. So even though I make a lot of platelets and ginkgo slows the clotting, it's still not the best option. So you still have to speak to your physician or your nurse practitioner or your DO, your naturopath, your nurses, all those people that do integrative and natural medicine to help you make those decisions. Please, please, please hear that. Let's see. I went over major interactions. It's a fairly cheap herb. Some resources will raise their prices. But as far as if you are cleared to take it and you have no other issues with it and you're just using it as a supplement, in my homestead, it's about $5 an ounce. It's not anything that will break the bank. But again, I'm going to be very particular about who I let walk out the door with it. So keep that in mind. Do your research on your herbs. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be glad to help. And if I don't know the answer, then I'm going to help you find someone who will. Because even though preventative medicine in the past has been a safer way to take care of yourself, if you are integrating it with other things in the Western treatment areas or world, then you have to make sure that it's not going to interact in a poor manner. And then, sometimes you get a bad taste in your mouth as far as, well, the herb gave me a reaction and I don't want to try any others. And so that's not the case all the time. You have to just be diligent and know what you're doing. What else would we use ginkgo for? I mainly put it in a tea if someone's cleared to use it. It doesn't have a bad odor. It doesn't have a bad taste either. It's almost sweet. It's a cross between lemons and like sugar. So if you're a sweet person, it doesn't taste bad at all. Of course, it can be ground into a powder and it can be put into a capsule. That's how most people take their supplements as far as just ingestion. Some people I've heard will put it in their soul cake cookies. Wonder who that might be. Anyhow, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for listening.